Today we're going to be talking about luxury weddings, so let's get into it. And today's conversation is as much for the luxury wedding creative or vendor, so colleagues out there, hello, those of you that follow me here on my corner of the gram, and also for couples, so couples that are planning or about to begin planning a luxury wedding. Those of you who fall into those two categories are going to really want to listen up because we're talking about you today, right? And so here's the thing. Budget allocation is how we quantify what defines a luxury wedding. So some people will say that can be anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000. What luxury weddings are really about isn't necessarily just how much you're spending. It's a mindset, right? And I think this is anywhere in life. Luxury is subjective. What does it mean to have a luxury mindset in the wedding industry? I think for me personally, I've learned over time with wedding creatives that consider themselves luxury wedding creatives or luxury wedding vendors, it comes down to a couple things: craftsmanship, a constant, passionate dedication to excellence, personalization, attention to detail. There's an artisanal approach to everything that they do. So what does that mean for you, the client listening? Here's what that means. This is a vendor. When you speak to them, when you're having that initial, is this the right, person for me, company for me, brand for me, etc., for my wedding? And we've talked about that in a previous episode. When you have that conversation, you will most likely hear they make a point to say to you, quantity is not what motivates them, it's quality. I always say I take 6 to 8 weddings, maybe 10 a year, celebrations, weddings, all of it in total. Why? Because I want to maintain a certain level of communication with my clients. There's a certain integrity to my process that I can't adhere to if I go beyond that number. I also, as many of you know, own a restaurant and I'm an avid equestrian. I compete. And so for me to have a life and do all of the things I do and really stay perpetually dedicated to the brand that I've cultivated, this is the number that works for me. This is what I'm talking about when I say luxury mindset. When you speak to a filmmaker, when you speak to a stationer, someone who's going to make your invitations, a flower design, a floral and decor design company, those people, depending on the category that they're in, quantity may not be something that they do. There may be others, like for example, floral and decor can be luxury and do quantity. So it really just depends, but you want to have that conversation and sort of get to the bottom. If you're trying to figure out if this person that you're talking to and this brand that you're considering hiring is in the luxury category, that's a great question to ask. This will mean you're making an investment, right? No one uses the word luxury without understanding that there's a cost associated. Obviously, these are the kinds of vendors that are coming with years of experience, lots of insight, and this is something I've talked about in previous episodes, right? When someone says to me on a call, well, have you ever worked in my venue before? My answer is always this, and I'll explain why I use this as an example. It doesn't matter how many times a creative or a wedding vendor, a luxury wedding vendor, any vendor has worked in your space. It matters how much they've worked. It matters the kind of experience they've cultivated. Luxury wedding vendors have gotten to a point in their career where they've done enough, they've seen enough, they've done enough problem solving, they've done enough on the fly, putting out fires, they've brought creative out of the box ideas to the forefront of the industry. They've probably been published or interviewed or featured as an expert. So they have enough in their tool belt that justifies they can do less weddings, right? They can go for quality, because that is a luxury in and of itself, and they will have a price associated, an investment associated with that service that, is how you work with someone of that caliber. The wide world of weddings is also like the wild, wild west, right? And that pun was intended with the W's. I was trying to be funny. But I think you need to know where your wedding falls so that you can have a really good, honest sense of expectation, where you're going, what you're doing, from your vendor, from yourself, from your budget. And I think that's really important. I've been doing this, like I said, I've been doing this 18 years, and it took me a while to get to this point. And I love having these conversations and being frank with you so that you know what you're looking for, what to ask for, and what to hope for in the wedding process. The big thing about what you can expect differently from a luxury wedding and a luxury wedding vendor is personalized service. It's the approach, right? You have now this pool of resources to pull from. When you create, and we've talked about this before on different episodes, when you create a team around you that is very aligned with your values, your beliefs, your vision, these people are going to work in tandem with you to create something truly remarkable. And in that process, there too will be a need to problem solve. There will occasionally be a challenge. There will be a solution that needs to come to the table, creative ideation that needs to come to the table, and you'll be able to look to all of them for that. And that is a huge component of the investment, of the return on the investment in the luxury wedding market, with luxury wedding vendors. And here's the thing. So this is a very specific subject that we're talking about today, and I just want to say, so everybody out there understands, if you are about to embark on a wedding planning journey that does not fall in these categories, that's okay. It doesn't make you less, it doesn't make them more, okay? We're just talking about different categories in the wedding marketplace, because I think it's really confusing when you enter into this world, when you get engaged and you're all excited and you're like, I'm gonna start planning. The overwhelm is tangible. I feel it for the people that I work with, the couples that I work with all the time. From Pinterest to Instagram to resources, online blogs, friends that have gotten married, parents, potential, future mothers-in-law, and your own mom, and your best friend, or your sister that got married. Everyone has an opinion, and they're always throwing this information at you. And it can be overwhelming. So I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about this because I think it's really important to know. It's okay to talk about luxury and have it be approachable and have it be comfortable. And if you don't know where you fall in all of this, that's okay too, because guess what? I'm right here and you know where to find me. So send me a DM, send me an email, send me a message. Let's start talking and let's figure it out.